Hi everyone, welcome back to Art with Kenneth here on the KJL podcast channel. I'm your host, Kenneth J Lewis Sr, and I'm so glad you're joining me today. In this episode, we're going to explore my newest series, Fragments of Time. It's a collection close to my heart, where I use vibrant colors and bold textures to capture the flow of time through the lens of a single clock. I'll be sharing the journey behind these pieces and what inspired me to bring them to life. But before we dive in, I'd love for you to hit that like button, share this with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to tap the notification bell so you're always in the loop when a new episode drops. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to share this with you. Time. It's a concept we often overlook, and yet it's ever present in our lives. We move through our days, living from one moment to the next, rarely stopping to consider how quickly they're passing. For me, that realization struck when I stumbled across an old picture of my grandson. He was just 2 years old in that photo, and today he's 13. 13! In that moment, as I held the picture, I was overwhelmed with the thought of how much time had passed so quickly, and I almost didn't notice it. I began reflecting on how time used to feel so slow when I was young. I remember that restless, anxious energy, wanting everything to happen now, waiting impatiently for what was next. And now as an adult, I'm left wondering where those years have gone, how they slipped by almost without warning. That reflection on time stayed with me. It lingered in my mind and eventually found its way into my art. But this wasn't the first time I'd worked with themes of repetition and variation. I explored something similar in my Boots series, which sold out. That series was all about revisiting the same subject, a single boot, but presenting it differently each time, revealing a new story or mood. In that work, the boot became more than just footwear. It became a symbol of identity, of resilience, and of journeying through life. The idea of taking a single object and creating multiple interpretations resonated deeply with me. When I started Fragments of Time, I thought about going back to those roots, to what worked with my boots. But something didn't quite feel right. It became clear that time itself doesn't allow for repetition. Time is always moving forward, pushing us in new directions, forcing us to evolve. I didn't want to retrace old steps. I wanted to explore time in a way that felt fresh and personal. That's when the concept of the clocks emerged. A clock. What better symbol for passing of time, for the inevitability of each moment slipping away? As I visualized this, one clock in particular stood out in my mind. A 1924 Gustav Becker antique vintage German wind-up alarm clock, a long name. It was old, weathered, yet there was something timeless about its beauty, the craftsmanship, the history behind it. It felt like a tangible representation of time itself. And from there, my focus shifted. Instead of boots, I would create clocks, each one a unique expression of time, each one evoking a different feeling, a different environment. I started with acrylics, which allowed me to layer colors and build textures. These early stages were all about abstraction, abstract backgrounds that seemed to suspend time in a moment. But as the ideal evolved, I found myself needing more. I needed more depth, more richness, something that felt as permanent as time itself. That's when I moved to oils. Oil paints brought a whole new dimension to the work. Layer by layer, moment by moment, I felt like I was painting the very essence of time. Every stroke was deliberate, every color choice imbued with meaning. The clocks became more than objects. They became symbols, symbols of time passing, of moments slipping by unnoticed, but filled with meaning. Each clock in this series tells a story. It's not just about marking hours and minutes. It's about capturing the emotions, the experience, the memories tied to these moments. I want viewers to feel that when they look at these paintings. I want them to feel the weight of time, but also its beauty, the vibrant colors, the expressive nature of my brushstrokes. They're not just for aesthetic purposes. They're my way of bringing the visceral experience of time to life. Time isn't just a concept, it's something we live, something we feel. As I paint, I can't help but think about how time has shaped me, how it shapes all of us. These paintings aren't just clocks, they're reflections of light. They're about youth and the anxiousness that comes with it, the way we race through those early years. They're about age and the quiet moments of reflection, when we realize just how much has passed. They're about joy too, the fleeting joy of small moments that feel timeless in the moment but are gone in a flash. And most importantly, they're about learning to see time as not an enemy but as a friend. Time gives us life. It's the very fabric of our existence. And just like in my Boots series, where I explored variations of the same theme in Fragments of Time, I used the same clock, but each one painted different. Each clock is set in a unique environment, representing a different mood, a different relationship to time. Some clocks are bold and bright, almost celebratory in nature. Others are quieter, more introspective, but they all share a common thread. They're all a part of this larger exploration of what time means to me and to all of us. This series has been both personal and universal. It's allowed me to explore my own experiences with time, watching my grandson grow up so quickly, reflecting on my own journey as an artist, and thinking about how we all live within the confines of time. But it also touches on something broader. We all have a relationship with time, whether we acknowledge it or not. It's there in every moment, whether we're aware of it or not. Ultimately, Fragments of Time is a reminder to pause, to take a breath, and to appreciate the time we have. Even as it's slipping through our fingers, time is fleeting, but it's also beautiful. And I hope that when people see these paintings, they're reminded of that. Next, I'd like to share with you a short poem I've written for this exhibition. It's entitled Echoes Through Painted Clocks. A clock ticks softly, echoing the years. In colors bright, it holds all our hopes and fears. The hands spin fast, yet linger on the past. In painted strokes, their shadows ever cast. Through vibrant hues, the moments slip away. Fragments of time caught in life's fleeting play. In every brushstroke, memory and dream, a silent dance where stillness meets the stream. Each tick and tock resounds in whispered tones, the pulse of life etched deep in wooden stone. A fleeting second stretched in liquid light, where day and night entwine in endless flight. The past lies wrapped in every shade of blue, while futures flicker in a crimson hue. In swirling shape, the hours bend and blend, a cycle turning where no clock will end. From ancient clocks to ones left to wind, the canvas holds the passage undefined. Through fractured time, we glimpse what lies unseen, in every stroke, a truth that lies between. So let the clocks keep turning, still and true, for in their hands our stories come anew. What lingers in the colors, rich and bold, are fragments of the lives that time can hold. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Fragments of Time. Each piece in this series will be on display this fall at KJL Art Sanctuary Gallery and Studio, 310 4th Street, Ewing, New Jersey. While the paintings you've seen are still in progress, with a few more sessions to go, I can't wait to share the final collection of 11 unique works with you. I hope they resonate with your own reflections on time and life. I look forward to welcoming you at the exhibition to experience them in their fullest expression. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Kenneth Lewis Sr. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to show love by liking, sharing, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more listeners just like you. And we're grateful for every moment you spend with us. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating.
The